This segment of DelmarvaLife is sponsored by the law offices of Tunnell and Raysor.
Picture this, you're a proud parent who loves your family more than anything in the world. You look forward to days at the beach, reading bedtime stories, and making lasting memories together.
But things change. You file for divorce. A dispute arises between you and your spouse over the custody of your child. That process can often become a very emotional one. Well, DelmarvaLife's James McDonald paid a visit to Tunnell and Raysor to discover how having an attorney on your side can ease some of the discomfort.
Divorce can be complicated, but when children are involved, custody battles can make the process even more challenging.
Custody has, unfortunately, a lot of moving parts. Custody is one of the things that, unfortunately, most people fight over. People care about their kids, and that's a good thing.
Family law attorney Rebecca Anderson says to ensure the best interests of the child, the court must decide the legal and physical custody of the child.
Legal custody is essentially a parent's right to make decisions regarding the child's life, whether that's educational or medical or more important decisions that involve the child's life, like religion and things like that. Physical custody is the actual placement of that child. So whether the child lives with mom full-time, dad full-time, grandparents, some combination of that, that's what the law means when it refers to physical custody.
Rebecca says best interest factors will always be considered by the court.
That is a legal standard or legal list, essentially, that has been dictated by the court through law, through case law, just through experience. So essentially, the court is going to look at just what it says, what's best for the child.
Those factors include financial well-being of the child, emotional well-being, and mental and physical well-being.
Going to look at the mental, physical, emotional health of the parties, criminal convictions. They're going to look at housing that's available. So is one home better than the other in terms of location to the school or distance to the other party? They're going to look at whether one parent has more resources than the other parent. They're going to look at sometimes what the child wants.
Custody arrangements can vary.
Sole legal custody is very difficult to get when there are two parents that are involved and want to be involved. Very rare that a court will grant sole legal custody to a parent. If the other parent is considered abusive, neglectful, there's sexual abuse, things like that, fine. But generally, both parties will have joint legal custody of that child. The sole placement sometimes comes into physical placement. So say the mother might get sole physical placement of the child. At that point, the father would then be entitled to visitation rights. The father could do weekends, could do overnight visits, things like that, but the mother would have sole physical placement. That just means the child lives there.
Parents seeking custody should be prepared with evidence to support their case.
What you want to focus on when you file these types of things is what evidence do you have that will show whatever you're asking for is in that child's best interest? That can be, again, photos, videos, that can be text messages, all things like that. But then you're also going to want to look at school records, how well the child's been doing, extracurricular activities that the child's involved in. If you move to a different location, is that child going to have to stop doing dance or basketball? All of these factors and all of this evidence is going to help the court fully understand the picture of where that child should go and how often.
Rebecca says having an attorney on your side is helpful to mediate between both parties.
Sometimes parties are not thinking clearly. They're angry at themselves. They lose track of what's important, which is the child. When you have an attorney involved, that can kind of show you the law, show you the factors, talk to you about what the court will usually do. What will usually happen is that attorney can help you figure out a resolution before even going to court.
She says if you can get an attorney from the very beginning,
that attorney is going to work with you, but also with the other party or the other party's attorney to figure out the best solution for you, but also, most importantly, for your child.
As a well-respected law firm and a staple of Sussex County, many families have trusted Tunnell and Raysor with their custody matters. They're a one-stop shop in a lot of ways.
People can come here and get their divorce, custody, and estates taken care of, real estate. But we also are so close to family court. I could run over there if you need something urgently or things like that. Tunnell and Raysor has the resources that can truly, truly help people. Not only are we so close to the court, but we also have a great paralegal staff. We have a great support staff and other attorneys that we can bounce ideas off of.
No matter the case, the team at Tunnell and Raysor is here for you and your family to get the results you deserve.
Rebecca also tells us that she is happy to learn more about your case and provide you with steps that you can take on your own to save money. All you have to do is call the offices of Tunnell and Raysor to schedule your consultation. We, of course, have a link for all that information on DelmarvaLife.com. All you have to do is click on what's happening today.
Something nobody wants to go
You never
through.
want to face it, but it sometimes happens.
Yeah.